Okay, good morning. So, we Be'ezrat Hashem Emunah. Yesterday we started Emunah and Bitachon. We're in our book Praying with Fire. So he says like this, second strategy, yeah? He says, the magnificent sunrise is so astounding, the precision of the human cell is so unfathomable, the power of lightning is so awesome that it would seem impossible for one not to feel Hashem's presence within these natural everyday wonders. Yeah? He says, imagine looking at lightning, the sun coming up, going down. You look at these wonders, you're like, wow, who created something like this? Yet a person can drive down the street on a highway at the evening rush hour and barely notice the brilliant slab of the sky. Yeah, a person can raise a large family of children and seldom contemplate the countless miracles that lead to their existence. One can switch on the light without thinking about the seemingly magical power of electricity. He says we do things in the world like, whatever, you know. Yeah, right now we have so much electricity, so much technology, heat, this, that. For us, it's like standard operating procedure. Not like back in the days, we had to make the firewood and sort of. So he says, you don't see the miraculous wonders around us all the time. You see kids, 7, 8 kids, 10 kids people have. How did these kids become grown-up adults? How many sicknesses they averted, yeah? He says a person doesn't see all these things. He says, each of these gifts and thousands of others experiences is so awe-inspiring that if one were to spend a moment thinking about just a few of them as they arise in the course of his day, one's awareness of Hashem would become a pervasive, powerful force. What's our goal in this life? Is to understand, is to know that Hashem runs everything. He says, every day we have to take a moment or two of our lives and understand that, wow, without Hashem, this thing would not exist. You know, some of the things, it's unbelievable to think how many stores there are in the United States. Just in the United States, how many stores there are, yeah? Millions. Imagine every store has a certain cereal, right? Or certain whatever, apples. How many farms and companies and people you need to make all of this stuff on a daily basis, every single day. Every day you go, apples. Every day you go, cereal. Every day you go, milk. Every day you go, canned food. We already take it for granted. Back in the days, it wasn't like that. In Russia, we had to stay online. Any cereal? What's cereal? There was nothing. Over there, I know, but over there, when we saw that something came, we're like, thank you Hashem that you brought bananas, thank you brought oranges. Nowadays, it's on the floor, it's going to the garbage, it's being spilled. Did you ever once think about how many chickens and meat they have to slaughter to feed millions and millions of people? You're like, where do they grow? No, let's say in the United States only, forget about the whole world. The only way is to understand that it's got to be Hashem behind all the scenes. Because only He can make a chicken go from a little egg to a big, chicken in whatever, 2-3 weeks or whatever it is. And slaughtering process and so on and so forth. He says you have to stop and think. Just go into the store and say, wow, so much good. It's miraculous. It's miraculous. Why? Because we've seen that it wasn't like that in Russia. You hear? So he says, to ensure that no day begins without opportunity to grasp this key to Emunah, the Birchot HaShachar, the morning blessings were instituted. They were designed to connect us to Hashem for the duration of the day by having us acknowledge that every detail of our day is channeled from Hashem's kindness and the numerous miracles that are involved in simply waking up and being alive and functional in the morning. He says that's why we have Birkat HaShachar in the morning. Pokei Chvrim, that I open up my eyes. Sokef Kufim, that I'm straight. Malbish Rumim, that I have clothing to wear. It says because, there are people who cannot see. There are people who plaston lizut, their back is out. That's it. They cannot get up. But we so automatic number choid. We're not even realizing of what we're saying. We have to understand that it's a gift from Hashem. Many people do not wake up in the morning with a good back. Many people wake up and they cannot see, unfortunately. Maybe they were visible and now they cannot see, or maybe they were born not being able to see. It says one effective way to allow this morning blessing to truly penetrate one's consciousness is to visualize the experience of a person who lacks these gifts and who then suddenly receives them via a miracle from above. When you drive in Manhattan, you see a guy who lives outside with the same clothes day in and day out. You imagine that? How must he feel? How itchy he must be. No, not a place to take a shower. Stinky. He says, when you see these kind of things, you have to understand, wow, Malbish Rabim, I have the ability to wear new clothing every single day. If you see a guy who's walking with a stick, wow, that I'm able to see with my eyes. You hear? He wants us to be able to understand that it's not just stam to have, 2 hands that are working, 2 feet that are working. The other day I was in a lawyer's office and I see the lawyer doing everything like this, with one hand. Then I said he's got one of these hands, I mean, we take it for granted that we have 2 hands. We lie, We take it for exactly. But that was an accident, But even that you have to see. Soldiers and everything, no food, no hand. But imagine being born without a functioning hand. What kind of a test is that? We take it for granted. So he says, don't take it for granted. Understand that these things are not just standard operating procedure. They were given to you as a gift from Hashem. He says, we see to feel the impact of the blessing. Imagine for one moment the soaring joy of a blind man who one day opens his eyes and suddenly can see beautiful colors, sights, and loved ones. Can you imagine a person who was blind from the baby? He doesn't know what red is. He doesn't know what blue is. He doesn't know what apple is. He doesn't know what he looks like. Can you imagine that?
No, he don't care because he doesn't know this feeling.
But can you imagine? He's looking and he's thinking, what is that? How does this thing look like? Meaning, you think everybody's around him saying, oh, pass me the apple, pass me this, pass me the table, sit on the chair. He's thinking, what's a chair? What does a chair look like? See, we never understand this to realize, wow, imagine a person who never saw. You tell him, look at the sun. He's thinking, what's a sun? Look at the moon. Look at the stars. Look at that mountain. He said, what's a mountain? At least an apple, you could tell him it's a fruit. He could smell it. But you tell him, look at a mountain. He
has little imagination for this.
No imagination. Rabbi Yaakov, one second. How can you have an imagination?
I used to play shashki. I'm master sport. We used to go to the competition.
Okay.
And some people blind. We have special daska for blind.
Good.
Like that.
Good.
Then we talk to them.
Blind from birth? Blind from birth? And he had an imagination?
Yes.
Through this, you're right.
Like that.
Only things that he could touch. He's imagining, it's a vessel, right? But imagine you tell him, look at that beautiful mountain. He has to touch the mountain in order to see it. Look at the beautiful sun. Wow, look at the giraffe. Giraffe? What's a giraffe? Unless he feels the giraffe, he has a long neck, he's big. He's not going to be able to. So that's why he's saying, imagine a blind person. Not on us, right? And then he opens his eyes. How would he feel? That's exactly how a person has to feel in the morning when it says, Pokea Chavrim. When I wake up in the morning, it's hard to see. When you want to see the time, you go like this, you're like, then it finally becomes, unless it's big, right? But it's hard to see, which gives us this thing of, Hashem gives us this gift, Malbish Aramim, that we have clothes to wear. Visualize the terrible shame and vulnerability you would feel if there was no such thing. Back in the days, there was no such thing as clothing, right?
But they still say this bracha.
But because they did have some kind of a covering. But not like us. We have anything we want, any style, any color, any thickness, Zokef Kofim, he straightens the bend. Imagine a body so stiff and raked with pain that you cannot lift your head. How many people are like that? Some of our members, my back is out. So he says, Hanoten la'ayav koach, the one who gives us strength. People think that they have strength on themselves. No, Hashem every day, gasoline, empowers you in order for you to go the next day. You hear? So if we do not realize this, sit down. He wants you to sit down every day and say, wow, Hashem, I want to thank you so much that you gave me the ability to walk, to go, to open somebody's mouth, to change his feeling, to be able to function. You hear? Because without strength, we'll not be able to function. Chas v'shalom. I was just commenting on we have Liu Neshma. What was the Liu Neshma? Mordechai ben Rabbi, right. I personally one time saw your father. I was walking to my car and a lady stopped and said, please, can you help me? I want to put him on the wheelchair.
Okay.
I said, okay. I went in lifeless. Hanoten le'Yaakov, he's lifeless. He was just standing there like this. His hands were a little bit, stiff. Feet were stiff. Me and the UPS guy apparently knows. He says, okay, I got it. He apparently did it already several times, yeah? Am I right? Yeah. But I went with him, and we took him from the bed, and we put him on a wheelchair. Can you imagine what kind of blessing a person would say after seeing a man like this? Bezat Hashem he should be in Gan Eden with all the tzaddikim. Yeah? So we have to understand that it's not a gift, automatic gift. No, for us to get up and walk, and to move, and to eat, and to swallow, and to pee, and to go to the bathroom, and not a gift. It's not free. Yeah? He says, in every instance, when you awake, you feel as though you've been given a new lease on life. Baruch Hashem, Hashem made darkness, and He made sleep, and He made us to recharge, yeah? In order for us to be able to wake up as a lion. In every instance, the point is to make Hashem's daily miracles new in our eyes. Every day we have to make these miracles new in our eyes. That's the only way we could really understand that Hashem provides for us. To battle the sense of familiarity and ensures people the true wonders of creation. The Khatam Sofer illustrates this idea in a discussion of the man, right? What happened to the man? The first time it came down, wow, what is this? They ate it, they're like, wow. What happened afterwards? Afterwards, every day came down, they said, what do I need this? I need some meat. Oh, he's saying we have to make, that's exactly, you hear what you say? Nadaidait. How do you say that in English? It gets on my nerves. Can you imagine? The fact that you see gets on your nerves? The fact that you move gets on your nerves? Yes, it does. You know why? We do it so often that it's like, standard operating procedure. Tomorrow I'm going to get up, it's going to be the same thing. Really? Not so really. People get up and they're not the same. Yeah? He says, the food that fell from heaven during the Jews' 40 years of sojourning. He notes that the generations that left Egypt felt the impact of the miracle, for they knew that it was a departure from the normal pattern of deriving bread from the earth. Yeah? They no longer were making bread. The bread was coming down. For their children, however, bread for heaven was normal. What is this? They had kids. They were born into this. What is this? Like we have cars now, right? Back in the days, imagine no cars. We were on bicycles and horses and whatever. Nowadays, cars. A child's thinking, this is standard operating procedure. Plane. What is this? When that generation entered the land of Israel and saw for the first time wheat sprouting from the soil, they perceived it as a wondrous miracle. In truth, however, both methods of sustenance are miraculous. The difference in perception comes only from one's idea of what is normal. He says, when we think that everything is normal, that's it. Our feeling of the fact that Hashem is with us and He's the one that does everything is gone. That's why we can't look at things as normal. Yeah, it's normal, but we have to understand that it's a gift from Hashem. That every day, it's a new thing that we're able to realize that Hashem is helping us on a single moment. Baruch Adonai L'olam, Amen, Amen.